Welcome back to Sunrise Daily, continuing our focus on expectations ahead of the screening of the ministerial nominees. We're joined now by Chief Olisah Metuh, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Good morning and thank you for coming.
Good morning.
Well, there's a lot out there about this screening, and first and foremost, I mean, we have many who have said, well, yes, the names that they see on this list are people they believe can help the party, the APC, achieve their aim. You've seen that list. What do you think?
Well, to be very candid and sincere, it's actually the prerogative and the discretion of the president to choose his team. He knows the promises he made to Nigerians about what he wants to achieve in office. So it's actually his prerogative. We do not really have a problem with the team that he has chosen. Our problem is that there's absolutely no way it would take a serious, sincere and focused administration 5 months to come up with such a list. It's a regular list. It's a list that maybe could have come out of a PDP's nomination first week or second week in June 1999, second week of June 2003, June 28, 2007.
In other words,
things like that.
They're mostly your members?
Well, I won't go there because 35% of APC are actually from PDP. It is our mistakes. So it's not something that we should be proud of. I mean, they left us. Some of them still share our vision and what we believe in, our ideology. So the fact that they left us and they're now in the ruling party. But sincerely, for an administration that promised change, for an administration that campaigned and focused on negatives of the PDP government, to come into office and wait for 5 months and give us such a regular list, it is worrisome because it goes directly to the foundation of the basis of their government. Are they going to do well? What have we seen in 5 months, Chamberlain? What have we seen someone who is serious-minded in terms of changing the economy? No. In 5 months, we have seen blames. PDP, they are corrupt. PDP, they did this. PDP. We are no more in government. It's not about PDP. It's about APC. What do you have on the table? What policies, what programs do you have for the nation? Right. We have not seen that.
What did you expect from the list?
From the list of ministers, I expected the government to come out with the list of ministers before the end of June 2015. Okay, that's what we expected.
It's about
the timing. It's about the timing. But I understand, like we had given an ultimatum for him to bring out his list, but we understand that the first set of people that he brought out, most of them were dead. Some of them were incapacitated. So we gave him time to get used to 21st century Nigeria, since he has lost touch. But having given that time...
Just a moment, Mr. Metuh. You're privy to a first list that was...
Mr. President brought out a first list, so we understand. But because he had not gone around the entire country during this campaign, he didn't spend time in states. Because he's not used to present politicians or present Nigerians. He brought out a list of people who were in government with him or who he knew far back in 83, 84. And they told him that those people were no more around. So he needed time to come up with a list. When he went to United States, France, we thought he was going to bring in people from outside the country. But he went back to bring regular members of his party, regular list. No problem. Some of them have done well in their previous assignments. So we have no problem with that. We're not going to go into that. We don't even want to talk about corruption. We're not going to talk about that because the law is straightforward. Everyone is presumed innocent until the contrary is proved. We're not APC. So we're going to accuse people, oh, why did you bring out this person that corrupt questions on? Or why this one has corrupt tendencies, this one has done this one has done that. None of them have been, absolutely, has been convicted. So there is absolutely no way we can bring up the issue of corruption.
But that's a very interesting revelation, Mr. Metuh, about the president's initial list. I have never heard that story before, not even on social media.
Well, I heard it from APC people, but the truth is, let's not go there. The truth is, he has brought out a list after 5 months, and he brought out a list of regular Nigerians, people who assisted him in winning the election, people who worked with him throughout, people who he had gone on campaign with. He had seen them, he knew their capacity, he knew what they could achieve. So is it because he was bringing out this set of ministers that he went to France on France 24, and he mentioned that ministers are noisemakers? Is it because of this list of ministers, this set of ministers, that he labeled them noisemakers? Because I don't understand, when you worked with people for a very long time, why do you need to denigrate them to give them appointment? He didn't need to do that, except that he didn't believe in their capability. If he didn't think they were competent, he should not have appointed them.
Perhaps the president will, answer that particular question in his own time when he's granting an interview. But looking at, you've raised the question with the time, and you say you're not going to raise question with the caliber of persons that are on that particular list. But I'm just wondering.
No, there are people that have done well. Some of them have done very well. You don't need to denigrate people because they are not in your party.
Did you buy the president's explanation on the October 1st broadcast about him looking through the ministers, through the ministries? It says that there was no way he could have released the ministerial list when he was not even sure of how many ministries there were going to be in the very first instance. You have heard rumors about, a collapse of ministries and perhaps even some agencies of government. What's your take on that?
Is the normal, usual flip-flop and excuses of this administration. They have done policy somersault several times. I mean, you have a Mejoda report, and you are insisting that you're going to call down on ministries. If you're going to do that, let's see. This government will end up having almost the same set of ministries that we've always had. In our own administration, we had the Olisah committee, the panel that looked at it, and there were recommendations. If the government wants to implement that recommendation, they can go ahead and do that. They could have done that in 2 months.
Why do you think
if you want to implement Mejoda's report, you could have done that in 2 months or 3 months. But you don't wait for 5 months to bring up such things. I think without trying to denigrate the person or the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think he's a bit overwhelmed, not necessarily confused, a bit overwhelmed with the schedule and the nature of the office. Because there is no way that you can wait for 5 months and you are still telling Nigerians about cutting down on ministry. If you have to use that, there are even zones. If you've nominated 21 people. If you want to show truly that you're a national party and that you think about all segments of the country, all interests, there are some zones there that you gave 2 positions after 21. That's 1/11. That's not up to 10% of people who you've nominated. And we have only 6 zones. So I don't understand the people that are playing with the president, whether they are quite sincere about the sensitivities of our people. Because if you look at it, you must be focused before you bring out your list or before you bring out some programs. Our problem is not about the ministerial list. We're actually celebrating mundane and routine appointments. This is not something that we should be talking about, Chamberlain. 5 months after a government has come into place, we sit down and we're discussing a ministerial list as if it is an achievement on its own. What is the economic policy of this government? What is the policy? What are they doing to change our economy? What input are they making in the system? What are they offering? What policy, what program do they have? Absolutely none. You wait for 5 months and we're discussing a ministerial list as if it's a big deal. You know what I think? I think that this government, they've reduced us to engaging in an unproductive reality show. You know what they call Telemundo show? I mean, we are now sitting down and discussing things as if we are we're doing, and it's not well produced. How can we be discussing ministerial lists 5 months after a government has come in? Where in the world is it done?
There are those who wonder that, look, when you get into a new position, it's different when you're on the outside. And when you get into it, and this part of the teething problems or challenges that you face, which you will eventually surmount, and then you move on.
Okay, 1999, because you need to go back to history to look at it. 1999, we inherited a government from the military. We came in, we know what the military did. We had uninterrupted 17 years or 16 years of military regime, and we came in. We did not waste our time. That government, the PDP government, did not disturb Nigerians, did not dramatize the inadequacies, the incompetence, the mistakes of the military regime. We formed our cabinet and we started moving forward with policies and programs to benefit the entire nation. But after 5 months,
there were some undulating times at that time too. Remember, the government of the then president did ban several items from being imported into the country. Then, at that time, I think it was Senator Nominees who came up and said, well, we were misled, and so they banned some of those products. So you have those kind of policies in the...
No, you're talking about 2004. I'm talking about 1999, Chamberlain. That happened in 2004.
Yeah, so you see...
I'm talking about 1999.
But we also... What we recall
you're talking about a single item or something that was banned. It had to do with textiles.
It
had to do with textiles, and it had to do with importation of cars.
If you say, for
or vehicles. That's different.